on it would be that their support cast offers not really any sort of guaranteed catch. How do you start a fight is basically like the game. And
really
right
no
now,
lockdown.
yeah, it's going to be walk up to tower, hit tower, or your last pick is going to
10 seconds remaining.
Right now, their only actual stun is, well, I guess, our two ultimates, RP as well as Supernova.
I mean, it's not necessarily a super bad thing because they have one more pick to fix it.
Yeah.
And from what you were saying, I'm guessing the last pick's probably going to be Sumail's hero. So they can pick something that can start fights in that regard.
This hero right here has been the one that has stood out. In EU also, when I was casting Southeast Asian Opens, the team with the Ember Spirit tended to win well. I think he's got a pretty good win rate, and I think it's just because it's like one of these heroes that you can play super fast, can start fights in a way that I feel like doesn't really require that much commitment from you.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, also, I think it's a good matchup
5
against
seconds
Phantom Lancer as the game.
It can be. It's just very active. There's a really big emphasis. Again, I don't know how it's been in the NA qualifiers as much because we're asleep by now. But when the games that we've cast, it's usually the team that has the slower cores, as in the ones that take longer to come online, typically just lose the game. Like anytime you pick a hero, we've seen Spectre. I think it won one game in the qualifiers, and then every other game has just been stomped. Morphling has lost a handful of times as well. So you just pick this hero, Ember, who goes in a almost isolated 1v1 in every game because people are doing 2-1-2 all the time.
Yeah.
And you don't really have a lot of horrible matchups. And considering that they've picked it now, there is an opportunity for it to be counterpicked. We've also seen it lane swapped into safe lane. So maybe Immortals have the same idea. Maybe they've been watching some of these.
Kind of a subtle thing, too, is that, with the Phoenix pick, the Fire Spirits can be annoying for some of these right-click cores, but Venomancer and Ember Spirit aren't necessarily heavily relying on that. They have their spells to take care of damage, so kind of a workaround in that sense, too. But the lack of lockdown is also what scares me for EG against the Ember Spirit. If I talked about Huskar final ban.
That's a good ban.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, like, how do we start a fight, a good way to start a fight is a Huskar hitting your tower, and 4 magic damage heroes go, how do we kill Huskar? And then, you're forced to either commit or...
We saw Huskar once, at least that I can recall. It was probably the most dominating game we had at the Optic versus Leviathan, I think. And also very good in the Ember Spirit match.
5 seconds remaining.
Final pick for Immortals. Again, it really depends what that Venomancer is going to be, isn't it? Because Night Stalker could be an offlane. That's where we've seen him more lately. Will that mean Veno 4, or is that going to be a Veno 1?
I like Veno better.
Against PL? I don't know. Seems kind of...
EG's turn
Leaf
to
presence.
Oh,
there's the Spectre that you're talking about there, Jarasco, the late
they get one fast core, one slow core.
Yeah.
So one creates the space for the Spectre to get the farm that he wants. And during the late game, Spectre is going to definitely put a hindrance on heroes like Magnus and Skywrath. They really...
The one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is safe lane more. Gale, Purgeable now, obviously. Doppelganger not really going to be wards build. And there's a couple of heroes that kind of, I don't know about deal with it in the early stage, so I'm just wondering what the Veno's going to be on. I guess you just pair together with the Night Stalker and go Poison Touch and try and
I mean,
people.
Veno Night Stalker lane is still pretty... Yeah, it's very strong. And I guess the Doppelganger having it as spell, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to put the Bane with the NS or the Veno instead. Because typically, what lane do you want to help? That's the Spectre lane. The Spectre lane is the one you want to support. So in my opinion, Bane is probably the better lane support for him. Maybe the Veno does go the ward build, maybe it doesn't. I'm kind of leaning toward no, just because you want kill potential. Against a Skywrath, for example, if you land a Gale, the hero just falls over. It's NS.
Storm versus Ember matchup is what we get yet again. Sumail versus MP. Final pick Storm. What do you think, Dakota?
Sumail Storm. I mean, each team now have a slow core and a fast core to kind of get into the fight. Is Spectre good enough to break the egg and such? Is the egg going to cause a lot of chaos in these fights?
That's a good point, actually.
Answers for it.
It depends how the engagement's kicked off.
Yeah. I mean, Spectre could haunt, it could ruin Magnus's initiation, but if Magnus gets the upper hand, jumps in first, then Phoenix can set up a wonderful egg in the backdrop while Sumail's jumping around. I don't even know who you focus if you're Immortals on this one, the upper hand.
I mean, you definitely want to, in the mid game at least, Silence is going to be either put on the Bird, the Phoenix, or it's going to be put on Sumail. Like, those are the heroes you want to silence. Take away Storm's mobility, he's dead. Take away the ability to egg, Phoenix dies. and that hero definitely offers the most amount of team fight minus like a mag having blinked at. So those would probably be my priority targets if I were Immortals.
I just feel like EG have a lot more like, oh, you're focusing on one guy, we have a Magnus to jump in, or a Sumail to jump in, or a Phoenix Egg delay in the back, while Immortals, it's like, oh, you jumped our Spectre, you know, maybe Emperor will jump in, but everyone else, it's like, they better be there, or, you know, they're going to be lacking a lot of mobility. I guess I'm just saying EG have more mobility to get to a fight and kind of, you know, turn things around even if they get jumped.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. This patch for me is very heavily lane dependent. And sometimes what happens is, like, if you look at Immortals lineup, and we saw this in the EU region, like, not even a couple of hours ago, there was a game where they had a Spectre, and they also had a Huskar. So the Huskar was the one who was pretty much pushing the tempo for his team and creating space for the Huskar push ended up failing like one or two. And then all of a sudden your Spectre's not quite online. So there's like this 5 to 10 minute gap where that hero is going to need to be able to farm up another item, whether it be Radiance or Manta style Diffusal or what have you. So it's still going to be up to Immortals, I think, to put space here and get space for that hero.
What you were saying, Breaky, is that this is an important game.
Yeah.
Again, EG are expecting to win every game moving forward if they want to remain at the top and get into the playoffs. Immortals, a team who I'm sure would love to surprise a lot of people. I know they've been in the dark, but they're hoping to be like the Bane and just show up and take things over and be the ultimate, you know, big rival into that top 4 position.
It's definitely potential. Anything could really happen still in these groups of the NA region. And yeah, for me, the Evil Genius lineup, I go back to what I talked about when they first started the draft. And this is a mix of because of being that 2-3 record, I think, but also a newer roster of sorts still with Fly and S4 joining. It's a very comfortable lineup. You look at who's playing what. These are all very comfortable heroes for them. Fly, meanwhile, taking some harassment. Dubu running after him. I love him.
He's looking
pretty
decidedly
dead.
uncomfortable,
Yeah,
actually.
Fly is probably dead.
Uh-oh.
Dubu picks up. Move void use.
They
Is
might
Milo
get
dead?
the spell well.
No, he's fine.
So, I actually think I like the Immortals draft more, but I think that EG is the better team, and I think that they're probably going to win this game, but I'd be a little bit concerned about it. I certainly don't think it's going to be easy. Snail needs to really start taking off, and I think it's a pretty good matchup against Spectre in a lot of ways. Like, you can shut him down early on, but the X Factor is going to be MP for Spirit.
I feel this is a 3-item game for Storm Spirit. He needs Kaya, Orchid, BKB, and then his game becomes very, very simple. But until that point, there's a lot of ways he can die. And that's going to be the time in which Immortals need to make their mark on the game.
BKB over the Lincolns, you think?
Oh, absolutely. And when you're against Ember Spirit, Night Stalker, and Bane, if you don't have a BKB, you're going to have a sad time.
Yeah.
You get hit by 1 Searing Chains and you don't have a way to dispel yourself, you are dead.
Worth it to even go to Duels first?
I think that more often than not, you're probably better off just going for the standard Treads Kaya and then deciding. Because the Orchid gives you the presence on the map, and I think that's what they're going to need because Artor is playing the hard one, he's playing the PL. So Sumail is going to have to be the one going around the map looking for kills. And in that regard, I think that the Orchid plays better into that style than going for something like a Yules, just play it, you know, quote-unquote safe.
I know it's early, but CS-wise, EG is dominating right now in all 3 lanes. Magnus leading the way overall 9-3. Storm Spirit though 9-2 against a 3-1 Ember Spirit. Yeah, that's not good. That was actually crit. Okay.
That's a tier 2 tower.
That's Oh, he's dead.
Yeah,
Curious why he was there.
Guy getting frisky, loves to put those arcane bolts out, even if it means diving through to tier 2.
I suppose, yeah, he was just trying to survive that whole time, just simply missed it.
Space, I suppose. The mag is in control of this top lane. S4 is going to have a nice early burst of farm. Not sure if it's like a straight to blink kind of a game or what. I actually have not seen too much Magnus. I know you guys are talking about you see Magnus all the time.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
typically
any Magnus.
the build in EU that we've been seeing. Okay, he's got 6. Alright.
Yeah, but still, one more.
Wave level
arcane?
2. Yeah, not in time though.
So we've been seeing the people are buying Vanguard and or Hood, like whatever amount of whatever damage output the enemy team has, that's what you itemize for, and then you go blink after.
So they still get that like 1 utility. And then
Yeah,
move
they
in.
typically, because Magnus has a 200 health 10 at level 10, and then you put a Vanguard on top of that, you have 2,000 HP at level 10 with that item and your talent.
But would you say this is a pipe game? Venomancer,
I would
Ember?
say, yeah, I would say Hood into pipe over
okay.
Vanguard.
So maybe fit into the Hood into Blink. We'll see what he goes though.
Yeah.
Bevy,
He's trying to survive, but
first kill for EG.
And I mean, it's definitely. I don't know if they're going to do that for sure, but that's just what people have been building. And we've seen a lot of Magnus.
I believe we've seen it again S4 a couple times played, and I want to say he usually goes that Vanguard like you're talking about. Again, this game specifically, maybe the Hood would have made more that utility item, as we're calling it, preferred than the Blink. Probably similar here, but again, S4 he's having a fantastic time at the top lane. Now with the kill on top of that, also middle lane. Ember's catching up a little bit, but Sumail's still winning it.
Yeah, first night's going to be relatively important here for Immortals. They need to try to find at least a handful of this.
And like, I think that they need to rotate out the Night Stalker to do it.
They're
Like,
already moving in.
You look at like the Phoenix and the Doppelganger PL, like there's no way that they find a kill on those PL leveled up stuff.
And he's holding his points.
Oh, there you go. Picks up Sunray level 2 with those points. Velo will take some good damage as a result, but be fine. Dubu using that first nighttime comes back in. He's only level 2 himself though. Not the scariest threat necessarily, and Arteezy sees that.
one little spirit, suddenly the right clicks are not going to come as hard. It's nice to have the bird as your little guardian angel there, but now you don't have anything else to offer. The PL's in trouble.
Okay, or you can just
Nicely
get
done.
silenced. And
That was such a value skill right there.
Yeah.
holy
I
crap.
didn't even notice he had that at level 2 initially, but yeah, he did not go Hunter in the night. He actually went the silence instead.
No, he just hit 3 and skilled the silent. Pretty sure.
Oh, well, no, because
Didn't he?
Yeah, no, he did not have its passive when he got the kill there.
Oh, okay, okay. So he was 1-1-0.
Yeah.
Nice.
Magnus dead top lane meanwhile too.
Uh-oh.
in the night.
Yeah. So, using that first nighttime Draskell, as you mentioned.
Yeah. The kills are important for sure, but it's also equally important to note that the CS is still drastically in EU's favor.
Yeah.
And we talk at length about this on the EU games, but a lot of the time the early kills really just don't mean that much.
I mean, last game was like 22-2 or whatever it was, and it still didn't feel commanding.
That one was extreme.
I mean, they were just farming though. It was just like, oh, you got us, but we're gonna get right back in the lane, and we are, very skilled, and we're just gonna continue to CS and CS and CS.
Sometimes it's about how you die too. Like, say you immediately TP back to a lane and then you die. That's an impactful death because you have to walk all the way back. But sometimes if you just die and you're like low HP or whatever anyway, and you TP back right away, it's not. It keeps you down for like 50.
Ryoya. He's possibly dead. Shockwave in 1. Oh, nice nightmare. It's not gonna matter. Coming out for the Skywrath mage, Febby holding his ground against the Skywrath with the Nightmare up, but only so much damage he can do himself, of course.
I think he took that Nightmare on purpose. Because he didn't want to tank the tower.
Oh, good point,
Would
yeah.
have done more damage.
A helpful Nightmare there. Still took some damage, of course, but he survives. So Venomancer this game, somewhat under-farmed, but, trying his best. In fact, they're going to go for another kill on Phantom Lancer. That 5-second silence coming out in nighttime, but this time with a Sunray heal especially, no chance. He's fine. But yeah, Venomancer, what kind of Venom build is this going to be? Is it maybe the more like the Blink, the Veil even, would be pretty good to hear?
Honestly, I don't really see a lot of Veno. I'm not sure what his itemization path is going to be. But
Veil seems pretty strong in this game.
Yeah, Veil is okay. But again, if S4 does go for the Hood straight into pipe build, that's going to feel...
True.
It's not going to feel great.
I kind of foresee the Veno having a hard time keeping himself super relevant in this game. I'm super curious how he itemizes, because if you just make his poison better, like Andy was saying, I feel like they'll just mitigate it out.
Yeah, I was thinking Helm of the Dominator with that Ring of Hell.
Yeah, push, side push, ways to create space. I mean, Venomancer is always annoying like that. If you jump him and finally bring him down, he may have got Poison Nova off, and you're just going to be weak and wounded, have to go heal. Yeah. And he just kind of creates that bit of time and space for the rest of his team.
It could also be a Hood into pipe for his own team. They have a Phoenix and a Sky that they're playing against, so
he could get
awful.
Force, I guess, against Sky also. You want to get out of Mystic Flare or away from PL.
These are all the items that Ring of Health can build, yes.
Ring of Health doesn't build place that.
Yeah.
Come on, boys.
It's a ring of
regen.
Same for later.
You passed the test, good job. Arteezy, he's not as successful as the other cores on his team, but he's still doing fine and taking advantage of the slight pull off to the side as Febby goes down top lane. Looks like there's even a rotation here from Night Stalker, but Febby's the one that falls.
He got a little ahead of himself.
Yeah.
Hate the bad end of an Ancient Seal Shockwave all of his life.
This lane is very spam heavy, and I like the fact that S4 opted to go for the immediate arcane boots. a lot of times we've been seeing Mags go treads and stuff like that, but because he's with such a mana-dependent support, he's building the item to allow just the duration of spam. It's good stuff.
You know who else would get arcanes to help him out in that department? Someone's gonna need to give that man.
Hood is going to be the choice for S4, so back to that discussion earlier. It's here.
I want to know what this Veno is going to do. Like, honestly, if I'm Veno in this game, I got a lot of question marks. I'm just like, what am I doing here, boys?
I guess it's sort of like, again, a lot of the heroes, like, Phoenix doesn't really care that much about getting Gale down, dive away. EL doesn't really care about it at all. Storm can fall away. Even skewering out of there, like, the only hero you can really try and kill is going to be the Skywrath. And it is, like, some damage, but to me it feels more like his job is just, like, go into a lane, push it out, try and farm up, get utility items, play, and then eventually...
The Veno Classic is just exist.
Yeah.
Get Veno be there, get RP'd into the team, and press
nicely
R.
done from
Oh, look
Sumail.
how slow it is.
Dire's
Poor
middle
Remnant.
tower is under attack.
Want to run.
Slowly runs away as his master dies. Yeah, Sumail just simply dives on top, and at that point didn't feel like Ember could do much. And this farm for Sumail, 4,100 net worth. He's nearly 1,000 over anyone else in the game, and that's his teammate included.
It's been a while since we've seen like a Sumail Storm show.
We saw it yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Ah. I mean, did he play it or did he actually do well?
It was in one. I believe it was in one of their victories. Yeah, he did play.
All right.
Did well, but 2.
Wins, right? Are they 2 and 3? Is that
They're
what
2
their
and 3.
scores?
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Ember
Look.
top lane.
3 and 3 here.
It's already great. Sleight of fits as well as the chains. MP coming back in with the Remnant to get the kill on the Skywrath. Fly doing what he can with the beam there, but it's not nearly enough. They'll look Ristab away. Nova yet, of course. Bane taking over middle lane. Meanwhile, double damage arena spawned. How's Spectre been doing? We're seeing a lot of these casual hoods this game. I know Phantom Lancer's also going for one.
He
Planning
needs it against that lane. Sky Mag with
Radiant's
arcane
middle
boots.
tower
Oh,
is under
yeah.
attack.
that's a disaster lane to have a stick and a...
No, getting a little bit low. Instead they turn to Skywrath with the initial Nightmare. Silence put up on Ember Spirit, though. He was not expecting that. Remnant away. Will manage to get away in the end. Very close call, though. Bottle charges.
I see how much Sumail can abuse his lead. See, he is very far ahead.
Radiant's bottom
1,500 net
tower
worth
is
lead
under attack.
is substantial.
PL and Spectre going at it here at the top lane, but now Skywrath rotating in, and Royoya will actually use the Haunt to go elsewhere. In fact, to the bottom lane, maybe for a turn kill. S4. TP, a pretty good ability against these heroes.
It's in Desolate right now. It's back then that
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That makes sense. I don't really see how that top lane can go in for a kill. It's just Bane Spectre.
Dire's
He just
middle
wants to try
tower
to
is
sustain as best he can in a really rough early game.
under attack.
Well, I'm a bit nervous here if I'm Immortals.
Yeah.
The fast core Sumail is gonna, well, be fast. He's gonna probably pick up that Kaya, there it is, and then begin to go to work creating space for the PL. Immortals, their fast core is supposed to be the Ember, and I don't know. I don't see him really getting into the fights at this point and creating space for the Spectre.
Yeah. Well, he's got the power treads coming.
Is that a sun?
That is, that's a supernova right down there. RP is only going to catch Venomancer, though. Nightmare initially will save him. It's going to keep him alive for now, but no, he will be finished off. The Arcane Bolt coming through. S4, meanwhile, walking away. Not going to be enough for him, so the RP, not necessarily the most effective from S4. Ends up being a 2 for 2.
Spec died?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Spec did die down here during that, apparently.
Dire's
Yes.
top
All right,
tower
so Storm
has
got him.
fallen.
Oh, that makes it a lot better.
That does. Solo kill. But Ember, he starts to jump up the net worth now after that fight. Just talking about him.
Yep, still trails an item behind where Storm is at the moment, but you're right, it does help a bit.
Dire's
They have
bottom
this
tower
window
is under
where
attack.
Immortals need to be... They need to find important kills and they need to be able to find an objective. Like, getting the safe lane tier 1 is fine, but you need to pressure. Like, when the Ember is capable of fighting, he needs to be out on the map. When you have Haunt and Fiend's Grip and stuff like that,
Dire's middle
you gotta
tower
go.
is
Like,
under
you can't.
attack.
Hesitation in this game is going to be a killer if you're Immortal.
Where EGR, they're like, nobody's going down there right now unless they're coming in.
Top.
Nice.
Oh my god.
There's
All
no
right.
support nearby. This should be a kill. Silence right after, if anything. Yeah, silence, no doppelganger. The brain sap. That's a level 4 brain sap.
That's
Plenty of damage.
So it doesn't help against that. Wish.
No.
But
Nice
Grip is
find.
down, and we'll see if EG go on the offensive here. It's something Storm's not going to have to worry about for a little bit.
Yeah. looking for a kill bottom. Sunray
From downtown.
Chris dive. Sumail will finish it indeed. The Kobe.
The range hacked. Too good.
There is one kind of silver lining for Immortals here, is that EG's lineup is not very good at killing Roshan. So even if they are like semi ahead, they're 1 for 1 on towers, so they've both taken each other's safe lanes. But for the most part, EG will not be able to like straight up end the game against a Spectre lineup unless some really bad stuff happens for Immortals. So they have to take like a blunder of a team fight and just get wiped or something like that for threaten something. So late game Spectre is always a thing. It's always something you gotta be concerned about.
Mid lane is probably dead. Oh, easy. Mill's going.
4-0.
He's already got one part of the Orchid.
I think it's safe to say he's taking advantage of this lead.
Oh yes, he definitely is. This is about as comfort as it gets for Sumail.
Still some Nightfall though. Mortals to do work.
They find him. He doesn't have
They
a
have
way
Haunt.
to deal with the chains either. Silent comes afterwards, so he's got to rely on this team to be there to back him up if he's set flint.
Yeah, they have the tools.
RP's back now too, so... Uh-oh. They spawned the
First
Batman.
on Night Stalker, yeah, they scout him out first. MP still chases Remnant and the RP. It's finally going to come out, catch the Spectre as he haunts in. Supernova down from Fly. It looks like it is going to be activated. MP decided to walk away. Dubu pops in Darkness. He cannot fly away in time. He takes a stun, and so did the Spectre off to the side and finishes him off. But MP now resetting. He's going back in. Bevy nearby with the Brain Sap on top of that. S4 he'll feel the burn. Double kill for MP. Meanwhile, Arteezy finally joins the fight. Spirit Lance thrown out. That'll be just distraction if anything.
He can hold him here.
Back.
Sumail will TP back in. We'll have that, but he'd been out of the fight for a little bit.
Yeah, he did not have any mana to start that fight.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh, look at me.
I think that Dubu actually might have found that kill as they chase.
He wants it.
He wants that kill. Did he overextend though? Yes, he did. Down goes Sumail. And now they're going for more Immortals. The Phantom Lance gets locked down.
Oh
By
my
the Phoenix
God.
Grip Evil Geniuses. I gotta say, that seems like a little bit of throw to me. Double kill for MP. Sumail now calls for help. That's not gonna work.
I don't feel like that was a fly call right there. Just make that jump in the mid lane. He was just like, I'm back, boys. Let's go.
That went from a very reasonable trade. Like even if it was a one for 2, you got the Spectre, and you lost the support and an off lane, and then Sumail's like, hold my beer, and then just
Hold my beer, boys.
gives him that free kill. That was definitely questionable.
And now the game is pretty much neck and neck there.
And Skyroth is dead.
This guy.
And now it's not.
So the Ember Spirit is now catching up, which is a problem. At first I kind of was wondering why he decided to go bots, especially against a Storm that had such a good early game. Because, you know, he's going to have an early Orchid, right? And because the Storm timing on the Orchid is going to be so fast, you're not going to have an item to save yourself from that. But if Sumail's going to fall in like that, maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Like, they have a couple of different disables that actually just destroy Storm Spirit if he's not in a position where his team can help him.
That was just hubris.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
The first jump, it's like, okay, not going to get him. Jump back, boys. But he's just like, I can just do it. If I go a little bit further, I'll be that much further from my team. But he's hungry.
This can help. This is deep. MP goes down, Velo.
He's out
He
of
pops the
mana.
poison over them.
TP?
Sumail's out of mana. He is dead. And that's, I mean, he got 950 gold for that kill, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's probably
that
worth
was,
it.
For the gold, it was probably worth it, yeah.
He seems to think it's worth it. I mean, if that's morale, then I guess that helps even more. It does, you know? It's like,
He also gave away the award there.
if you feel like it's a worthy trade, then you're still feeling good.
Wow, that's, I mean, I was taking some damage himself from the creeps, but yeah, he's saying hello to the Spectre.
So the other thing I was trying to mention before Sumail went crazy was that in the mid lane there, when they were going in on the Supernova, I think Dubu thought that he could take it down with like a little bit of help from one, but it actually turned to daytime, and so he didn't get the attack speed anymore off the back of it because it's Supernova.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that interesting little buff.
MP also bailed on him super hard. He had a haster, and he's like, peace, dude, I'm out of here. You're on your own.
Yeah, you got to be all in committed and as a team if you're going to do that. So
Yeah, once
They
the
were
egg
nuts.
gets another level, it's going to be real tough for Immortals to break it if they want. I mean, unless they focus it, but then if you're focusing that, then you're not focusing the PL, the Storm,
Yeah.
Magnus. So the egg could be a problem later on for sure.
It's a good Phoenix game for those
Yeah.
reasons, exactly. When you don't have anyone who buys like Manta BKB to dispel that Fire Spirit.
they saw the smoke, I want to say. In fact, Phoenix just going to dive in right after that. MP's here and change
Can't
though.
get
They're
there.
going to get the kill on Phoenix before he gets Supernova. Due to the silence, Velo, he's trying to take up against Sumail. Has that hood popped on top, and Duke is running away. As it's nighttime, he pops the shot at the last second. Arteezy can't finish the job, but the shockwave will help get the job done. They do
dead
lose
again.
Storm yet again, though. Meanwhile, down here by himself in his own fight, So looking pretty good for Immortals. MP, did he overextend? Ancient Seal Silence? The answer is no. He'll be fine. Crit also getting low. Ryo wants to finish the job, but again, he's not the most farmed yet. Not worth overextending, he says. Go back to farm, but that's, I feel like it was a bit of Castro's curse, guys. We talked about 4-0-0 Sumail and how he was definitely making use, and he's been 1-3 since then.
Still top of the net worth to his credit, but yeah, I thought they were still going to have a decent time there since they put their silence and allowed their disable on the Phoenix at the initial part of it, but they just split the fight right in half and put a lot of focus onto Sumail, and he was alone.
There was a lot of miscommunication, I feel, because at the beginning of the fight, they killed the Phoenix really fast, but Sumail was committed to a completely different hero than the rest of his team. Like, he was on the right side of the fight, everyone else on HG was on the left, and they ran to chase towards Shrine, and Sumail continued to stay on the one target, like continually balling in and using his entire mana pool. So, if anything, that just shows lack of communication between the players.
Yeah. Jumps are so long that he ends up having not much mana pool to work with.
It was like
commits.
4 jumps in a row, and not...
You don't have that much mana yet.
Yeah,
you can tell he's like thirsty for when he has the items to back up these big boy plays, for sure.
I mean, it is sort of the mentality that I feel like you kind of want in a way. From, like, if he gets that kill and gets out, then it's like, you know, that's the highlight play going the other direction. It's just that it's like making sure that you do get out. And now it's been this really rough time period where he wants to be able to finish off this Orchid. And it's how long has he had the 2 Oblivion stats, and it just keeps on being delayed ever so slightly.
He's close now.
Yeah,
and honestly, 20-minute Kaya Treads Orchid is not the worst timing. It's still the highest net worth in the game by a pretty deep margin.
And he has the level, so he gets the talent now for 400 life. 400 life is going to help a lot in these fights.
That'll help the way he's playing, yeah.
For sure. So, you know, this could be a turn back around for...
But again, it goes back to the other thing we said too. It's a 3-item Storm game. So after the Orchid, once he gets BKB, he is free to pretty much do whatever he wants. On the other side of it, you do have MP now having the Yules.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Yeah, the Yules is great. It's protection against the Storm. They do have more than one silence, and you can actually get RP'd out of your own Yules if you're not careful, so there are some downsides to it, but it is a necessary evil.
Now later, if they realize that they're just going to have a big bad PL to deal with, the Yules might not feel so crazy good, but...
Yeah, he's going to have to go back for like Maelstrom or something.
But he's like, I got to deal with the first boss right now. Yep. Sumail, in a way to survive.
But let's not forget about Arteezy. He's now second in net worth. Diffusal finished. He's 1,000 more gold saved up. He's obviously going to become more and more of an issue too.
Yeah, it's PL, the PL factor, the sleeping giant kind of a thing.
Going in, Village jump. Oh, what? Oh, that was a miss. He TP'd. He jumped in and TP'd. That's something else. Anyways, the RP helps finish him off. Arteezy, he's going to Phantom Rush forward onto Bane, trying to survive. Doppelganger away. Can they find the real one? Arteezy for now. He is fine. Steering chase. Don't they kill the illusion, but they're going to be able to kill PL. No.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding?
He thinks it's an illusion. He walks away. Meanwhile, Night Stalker's going to fly away with the silence on him, but the Glimmer Cape helping to keep him alive. I cannot believe I just saw that. Arteezy even thought he was dead.
They figured he was probably just totally somewhere else.
Maybe that he was playing possum and they fell for it.
The next label play.
That was...
Oh no.
I can't believe they didn't see that.
Yeah.
They had the Night Stalker up there too, right? So they had night vision. They would have seen him run away. Like, because all the illusions were so low HP at that point that they just instantly die to any damage. So, yeah, I can't believe they didn't just kill him there.
Well, without that kill, it's definitely a victory for EG fight. And now they're, I mean, they've been thinking about Roshan for a while. There's no vision whatsoever on the map for Immortal. They're going to do that. Haunt is definitely on cooldown. That was used the previous fight. Again, Radiant's still not even finished on Spectre, so not much to worry here.
It's not the fastest Roche.
Yeah, they're still going to head over that way. Oh, Sumail wants to check out who's on the high ground. Oh. They got vision, it looks like. They just blow up the Night Stalker. Sumail's back.
That's a huge one.
That'll secure it, yeah. No Haunts. Don't think Immortals have any way of fighting this now.
How about, so we're talking about that not killing Phantom, but how about the start? The Venomancer, he clearly misclicked there.
Yeah,
he literally blinked and he TP'd.
He must have had his inventory mixed up.
Yeah.
He actually
With
swapped
the veil,
where his
I'm
veil
guessing.
was on his 4th position for him.
I was going to say, look for where the TP moved to, and he might have your answer.
He didn't even poison of it, did he?
No. I think he TP'd and then his brain just like was like, wait, what? And then he died.
Or he could have like stopped to cancel TP. He's like, wait, no!
I think Draskull's right though. It's just one of those massive brain farts. You're like, did I just do that? And you just end up dying later. So.
Okay, so Sumail's going the greedy route because he has Aegis. Instead of going BKB, he's going to go back for Bloodstone. It's it will give him a better late game, but it does leave him susceptible to dying some more. But with the Aegis, I mean, it's the best Aegis carrier in the game. So, in my opinion, at least.
Hard to argue against that.
Bloodstone has been suspect from what I've heard from a lot of people watching these games, but
They need to get in there and silence him.
There's the Aegis use. RP on 2 though. Optimistic play. That's at least a kill on Bean, it looks like. Zero 4 Jubu will survive. Suno comes back up, and he's ready for revenge. MP, Yule's gonna get out. Yes, Remnant away. He'll be fine. So they lose 2 supports to kill the Aegis.
I wonder if he goes back for the BK.
So much for the Aegis on Storm Spirit though.
Knowing Sumail, he probably won't change his item choice.
2800. Yeah, he's going for Bloodstone now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
that was
No big
okay
kitty.
for Immortals, but
Dire's bottom
not going to get
tower
any
is
easier.
under attack.
EGR going move through and take objectives to go along with it now.
They continue to wait for the Radiance. That's where it's, and even with the Radiance though, obviously it's still, you want more on top of that.
Dire's
What's his
bottom
forehead right
tower
now?
is under
Item wise.
attack.
Okay, he does have the pipe already.
Yeah, I finished. The Yule's next even.
I mean, this is where things do get a little bit scary, the Radiance, because it's going to be breaking Blink Daggers.
Radiant's middle
It's going to be
tower
causing a
is
lot of
under
issues. I mean, still you've got Sumail, it's going to be a problem late game.
Is under attack.
But it's kind of like this sort of dual battle that goes on, right? Like you've got the Spectre and the PL. Who is it that's going to get more farm going into the late game?
Well, they're going to jump on him initially. Silence, as you mentioned. S4 running in again. No RP though. Oh, wow. Villa just exploded there. He didn't get a Poison Nova off again. Bane dies as well. Supernova that will go off. It stuns up. That was... They catch Spectre. Spectre. Ooh. He haunted it on top of that with no Radiance. That was a sloppy fight for Immortals, but EG will take full advantage of it.
Velo was being greedy with his Poison Nova. He could have cast it, but he wanted to try to hit more than one hero. So instead of just hitting Arteezy, he was trying to get like 3 or 4. And Chris was like, alright, you're just walking into my silence. So just threw it on him and he just falls over.
And now EG could have capitalized, taking out tier 3 tower more than likely. Again, you're not fighting this. I guess they still have a Poison Nova, but he's not even up for 15 seconds.
The thing about that is I don't think that they can go high ground if you just leave that tier 2 tower to die, right? Like, did they really need to defend that?
I think that they were probably thinking if we get a Poison Nova off, even if we lose like a hero or 2 here, they won't be able to go high ground at least. But it didn't work out. His fellow wasn't able to get his spells off.
MP the Yules. He's going for the turn kill, actually. Sumail, this might get him off guard. It looks like it does. No, he gets the ball landing up the last second. Outplaying him. Galore Glimmer keeps up and they kill Sumail. Dubu comes in for the save at the last second. Yeah, without Dubu there, that probably is a turn kill. Good
Yeah,
teamwork,
that Glimmer
though.
saved his life,
Yep.
for sure. Now Heart on Arteezy. Thank you, PL.
I mean, we're just getting to the point where Sumail's going to hand things over to Arteezy. I don't know what the answer for Immortals is going to be to that. Their supports move out to get a little bit of extra vision. They are at risk of being caught out.
Now, this is the timing that we were kind of... When we talked about like a fast core and a slow core, the Spectre still really has yet to make any sort of a influence in this game at all. Because he doesn't have his one impactful item. I think he has his Radiance recipe coming out to him right now. But even just buying the hood, it made it take so much longer for him to get to a stage where he felt impactful that even with Sumail playing as recklessly as he has, now the Radiance doesn't really feel that effective because A, there's a pipe up on the Magnus. One of the cores has a Heart, the other one's a Storm. Probably not going to be locked down, you know, that easily in fights. And now it's like, okay, this timing is later, and now we don't really feel like we have a good way of getting ourselves back into the game regardless.
7,000 net worth lead, so most overwhelming, but point being that it's just going to start snowballing more and more for EG. It feels like Phantom Lancer will be fine, just harassing at the tower. While we're in this game, guys, by the way, quick reminder, the South American Grand Finals are finally beginning shortly here over on Beyond the Summit 2 channel. You can check it out. Blitz and Capitalist. They'll be casting it. That's the best of 5. Pain versus SG. Spot the TI on the line. It's been a 6-day qualifier, but 2 deserving teams in the end. So that's going to be starting soon over on BTS 2. Beans Grit, meanwhile, back to this one. Bane Lancer's going to be locked down to S4. He's trying to stop it. Root on top of that on the PL, so he's still locked down, but in the back line's Bane. He's having to deal with Sumail. Sumail is out of mana once again. Supernova going to be activated by a fly. Force him to run away. Finally, Poison Nova. That was a long distance Poison Nova, though. They will take out Night Stalker. Ember Spirit, he gets caught by the Supernova explosion, and he'll end up falling. RP finally used to catch Venomancer in the back lines. They're going to finish him off, too. Spectre. He's like, guys, I had to get out.
Wait, I mean, not sure what the game plan was there. That led in with a Fiend's Grip onto Arteezy, but nothing else came of it after that. I mean, maybe more credit to EG to catch those backliners, but It's tough at this point for Immortals to be able to get the jumps. The only jump kind of they got is a haunt to leave things in or something. It's very awkward, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Venom and the Spectre kind of fell flat for me this game. I mean, obviously it's not completely over yet, but it's looking like EG are in a very dominant position.
The way these fights have gone, it just doesn't feel like Immortals has much hope, and this is going to be even worse. Spectre pulled right back in with a Vortex. Stops his CP, kills him. He's dead for another full minute. That means a full minute of not farming once again with that new Radiance of his, and even falling further behind the side of Immortals. So EG no doubt played very well here in this game.
So there's a really good thing to take away from a match like this when you see EG playing, you know, I said reckless, like Sumail was just going in like hard all the time, just looking for fights. Even though he was dying in kind of awkward ways, if you look at the way that EG played, they never took their foot off the gas a single second. True. Like every single time they were looking to fight, they wanted to contest, and Immortals felt like they couldn't always match the aggression that EG were throwing out because they didn't have another hero that could come to fights because they had Spectre. So imagine if it was another safe laner that could actually, you know, be present in the game. I feel like that's where a lot of the teams are starting to fall behind now.
Sumail trying to finish this right here, right now in the backline. Being Glimmer Cave initially saving him, but not for long. They say killing spree for Sumail. They were out of Atos on Night Stalker, working it back to the Fallon, but of course EG doesn't want to dive that far. Storm Spirit, Fiend's Grip will hit him. Support from EG is late to get there. The Ember Spirit jumps in with the Remnants, and they take him out. He's dead for 20 seconds due to the Bloodstone. Not the longest. They are going to get the tier 3. Yes, the Illusion will finish the job, and now EG will retreat as a team. So it kind of goes back to what you're just suggesting. I mean, sure, it's a death on Storm Spirit, but I don't think EG is looking to let up the gas anytime soon. In fact, Arteezy wants to go back in. Dubu, nice Nightmare save initially. Too many Illusion Cell, and he will be beat down. The Empower buff also. Phantom Lancer helping him off. Out comes Velo with that Poison over Ryoyo, but he's just melting away, not taking enough. That Hooded Defiance ain't going to save him most likely. And there you go. The Spirit finishes the job. Double kill coming out here. Saw the Supernova go off in the back lines. Buyback galore. It just simply isn't enough for Immortals, and this could be the beginning of the end now for EG.
Either way.
Beginning of the end for Immortals.
In favor of EG.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Got it.
Yeah, I really feel like this is, well, another buyback. They're all buyback.
Give it one last shot there, Immortals. One last little go.
They can't just let EG walk away here. I mean, they might just die again, actually.
Yeah, I think this is your do or die for Immortals, which is mostly looking like a die, but let's see if they can get anything out of it. They're trying to put their focus on Arteezy, but
That's a tough kill, though. Hard.
it is.
Makes it very
they
difficult.
may get it, though.
Another Hood. He has it coming up in 5 seconds. Not in time. Okay, so they are going to kill him, actually. Kill streak stopper for Dubu. Going his way. Fly also. Nope, Yule saves him initially on top of the Mystic Flare. Down goes Ember for the dieback. They do kill Phoenix, but obviously a massive cost once again. Dubu running away. The bolts are flying out. S-Fork lining up that Skewer. Puts him up with a Yule. Skewer setup. Not with the most follow-up, though. Gets him over the ledge, however. As Night Stalker did survive. That Glimmer Cape has been high value this game for Dubu. And they're going to kill Skywrath. So Immortals simply delaying. Yeah, I don't even know. They almost actually clear them all up, don't they? Wow.
Yeah, they got quite a bit of gold from getting
Storm
those
even
kills.
died there.
It's important, too, because they had spent, what, 4 or 5 buybacks? That was, I think, almost everyone bringing themselves back.
Everyone, yeah.
So it's a very costly defense, and obviously they're still down 2-7.
Dire's middle tower is under
Just
attack.
delaying at this point for Immortals, trying to keep themselves alive as long as they can.
Yeah, I really liked what you guys were talking about there with the sort of making sure that you at least keep that one core forming. Like, one of the perfectly emblematic moments of this game is like Sumail is diving in there basically towards the fountain, you know, drawing a ton of attention. There's Ember triple remnants onto him to secure the kill, and while that's happening, Arteezy is getting the tier 3 tower, and then they finish it off as it goes down. And it's not necessarily that either person is playing bad, that's the game plan. This core is going to draw attention, the other one is going to...
Yeah, there's also something to be said for EG having 2 winning lanes and one like even-ish, maybe. The only lane that they could be even theoretically losing is their safe lane, because they did lose Arteezy, what, 2 times, I think, in lane, just dying. But again, that doesn't really stunt his farm as much as just having a Magnus and a Skywrath sitting against the Spectre, spamming spells, chasing this guy away from his tier 1.
Yeah.
He had a way harder laning phase in the PL, regardless of how many times, you know, Ryoya died versus Arteezy. And I think that's what really like breaks the game for Immortals, is that, okay, this Ember needs to do a ton. He's in an unfavorable 1v1 matchup with no one who is going to be able to help him except for maybe the Night Stalker, who can't really leave bottom because then the PL free farms, and you can't send anyone else down there.
Yeah.
So you're spreading yourself really, really thin by picking a safe laner that needs to be babysat and still losing that lane, and then having a matchup in a 1v1 where that hero on your team needs to own, and he can't. You're giving him like a dead game, basically.
A level 23 Storm Spirit as well, 23.5 even, so this is going to be a fast level 25 at this rate. Continues off further. Spectre, he's desperate. He's just going to buy the Blade Mail at this point. Hope for the best, but I believe the Silver Edge is finished now, yeah, on Phantom Lancer, so that dispersion ideally will be broken.
Heyo!
S4, he's going deep. That's just a Bane though, so won't overcommit. Catch him.
I mean, every hero counts when you're defending your base. Him being dead for 50 seconds is still pretty bad.
Yeah, true. And no buybacks, they know that. And obviously the middle, the bottom already cleared out. Let's go for the top, they say. Finish the job for sure. Against Immortals, Arteezy. Who do they get? They have the Edge Storm. Jeez. Well, he's also on Storm. So you can play extra reckless now. Mystic Flare, Venomancer possibly could be there, runs away, Supernova in the front lines. Fly, that's definitely getting off.
No one can
try to run away. Immortals just trying to spread away the RP. Hit Spectre on top of the Supernova. Remember, if you die, you're staying dead if you're Immortals. And that'll be the case right there. Samil is getting low, but there's that Aegis popping back up. So the Poison Nova doing a fair amount of work, but as expected, not nearly enough. Spectre and Night Stalker down. They're gonna catch up to Venomancer, and the GGs will eventually be called by Immortals. Well played by Evil Geniuses. Was a little sketchy there, you know, with an initial dive from Samil, dying and possible turn, but EG was always the better team this game.
Yeah, their draft was solid. Immortals, they had some really awkward pieces that didn't fit together. I didn't really see what the Venom was supposed